Imagine you're sitting at home at night, looking out the window, and suddenly you realize we might be completely alone in the universe. Or even worse, we're in someone's computer game, or maybe you're not even you. Welcome to the world of the most insane and disturbing scientific paradoxes. Let's start with the most famous one, Fermi Paradox. You've probably heard the question, if the universe is so huge and old, why don't we see any signs of alien civilizations? In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi asked a simple question, where is everybody? According to calculations, intelligent life should have appeared millions of times. Someone should have already colonized the galaxy. But around us, silence. The most popular and creepiest explanation is the Great Filter. It's some kind of event that almost all civilizations cannot pass. Maybe we're already approaching it, or we have already passed it, and now we ourselves pose a danger to others. What if they do exist, but are just very quiet? Dark Forest Paradox. Imagine space as a huge dark forest at night. You are a hunter with a gun. If you turn on a flashlight and shout, "I'm here," there's a high chance someone will shoot first. Chinese writer Liu Cixin in the novel The Three-Body Problem proposed this idea. All civilizations stay silent because revealing yourself means risking being destroyed. The silence around us is not emptiness. It's universal fear. But what if our entire universe is just someone's program? Simulation Hypothesis by Nick Bostrom. Philosopher Nick Bostrom in 2003 seriously calculated, if at least one civilization in the future learns to create perfect simulations of its ancestors, there will be billions of such simulations. This means the probability that we are in base reality is tiny. We are most likely inside a simulation. And yes, at any moment someone up there can press the off button. But how can you even be sure that everything around you is real? Brain in a vat. Philosopher Hilary Putnam proposed this thought experiment. Imagine your brain is lying in a vat with nutrient solution. Wires are connected to it, feeding all signals, vision, hearing, touch. You experience a whole life, but in reality, you've never left the laboratory. The question is, how can you prove that this isn't happening right now? And if the whole world can be an illusion, what about other people? Solipsism. This is a radical philosophical position. You know only one thing for sure, that your consciousness exists. Everything else, including other people, may be just a product of your mind. They smile, talk, get angry, but inside they might be empty. You're the only real person in the entire universe. Now, let's talk about time. It's not as simple as it seems. Grandfather Paradox, a classic of time travel. You go back in time and accidentally kill your grandfather before your father is born. Then you will never be born. But if you weren't born, who killed your grandfather? This paradox destroys the idea that the past can be changed. Bootstrap Paradox, another blow to time. You find a finished time machine with instructions in the future. You bring it to the past and give it to your younger self. Then who invented this machine for the first time? Information appeared out of nowhere. It's a closed loop with no beginning. From time, let's move to the quantum world. Schrödinger's cat paradox. In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger suggested this. A cat in a closed box with poison that may or may not activate. Until we open the box, the cat is simultaneously alive and dead. It is in superposition. Only observation forces reality to choose one option. It turns out that the very fact of observation creates our world. Crazy, right? If you enjoyed this so far, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Quantum immortality. According to the many worlds interpretation, every possible event creates a new branch of the universe. In the branches where you die, your consciousness ends. But in those where you survived, even in the most improbable way, you continue to live. The conclusion, from the point of view of your consciousness, you are theoretically immortal. The only problem is you might live in the worst possible scenarios. Eternal old age in a hospital, for example. Not the most pleasant prospect. How much time is left for all of humanity? Doomsday Argument. Statistics say the probability that you were born at the very beginning of human history is extremely low. If we assume that a total of, say, 100 billion people will ever live, then the chance of being among the first few billion is tiny. This means we're most likely living closer to the end. Finally, two paradoxes from biology that show how little we understand even about life on Earth. Peto's paradox. A blue whale has thousands of times more cells than a human. By all laws of probability, it should get cancer thousands of times more often. But whales almost never get cancer. Scientists still don't understand what kind of super protective mechanism they have. Enrichment Paradox. If you greatly increase the amount of food for rabbits, their population first grows sharply, then the number of foxes grows, and then the entire ecosystem suddenly collapses and dies out. Sometimes more resources lead not to prosperity, but to a faster and harsher collapse. If you found this interesting, put a like, it really helps the channel. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss new videos about strange science. And in the comments write, what paradox made you really think about it? Reality is much more interesting than we think, and that's wonderful. See you in the next video.